Happy New Year, everyone. You're listening to the Wrestling Fans Insight, episode number 42. I'm William Hoppy. Joining me today will be John Hoppy. How you doing?
I feel sick, so I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to let you two have all the fun today.
Completely understandable. And how about you, Mr. Carlos Estrada?
I'm good now that I hear John's not going to be talking. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I had to.
Trust me, the feeling's mutual. I can't even stand to listen to my own voice.
I hope you feel better. Also, wishing out well wishes to our other co-host Heather as well.
Yeah,
who's under the weather.
Yeah,
I love you, Heather.
This is probably going to be the only part I talk in the podcast, but yeah, Heather had a couple issues. Well, a big issue the other day, and we're going to wish her well. And I'm going to sit back, listen to William and Carlos. You two have fun talking wrestling. I'll probably pop at some point. Who knows?
Oh, I fully expect that you're going to have something.
Oh, yeah.
No,
he's going to have an opinion about something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one, so you know.
Exactly.
All right, so back.
You sound fine to me. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah, Carlos, kiss my ass. Happy New Year, too, by the way.
Well, speaking about Mr. McMahon coming back, we're going to start the kiss my ass match.
No. We're not going to have a William Regal moment here, so.
There we go.
That's probably actually how McMahon got back into the board of directors or with the shareholders kiss my ass club.
No, he just told him to kiss his ass is pretty much what he did. Baller move.
Anyways, I'm going to let William take the ride. You two have fun.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the WWE programming for the week. Monday Night Raw results. For the Raw Women's Championship match, Bianca Belair defeats Alexa Bliss via disqualification. In the Music City Street Fight, Solo Sikoa defeats Elias. The Usos and Sami Zayn defeat the Street Profits and Kevin Owens. Dexter Lumis defeats Chad Gable. Damage Control defeated Becky Lynch and Mia Yim. And for the United States Championship, Austin Theory defeated Seth Rollins with the lovely low blow victory. As far as NXT goes, Carmelo Hayes defeated Apollo Crews. Axiom defeated Trick Williams. Dijak defeated Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Extreme Resolution match, Alba Fire defeated Isla Dawn. Oro Mensa defeated Javier Bernal. Drew Gulak defeated Andre Chase. And Kofi Kingston defeated Joe Gacy. SmackDown results. Santos Escobar defeated Kofi Kingston. Karrion Kross and Scarlett defeated Madcap Moss and Emma. SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defeated Sonya Deville. Royal Rumble qualifying match. Ricochet defeats Top Dollar. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. The Usos defeated Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. So, Carlos, how did you feel? How did you feel about this week's WWE programming?
So, I'll just really quick. I feel like SmackDown was the SmackDown was the weakest show of the week for me. I thought Raw was a good card. I mean, it had good action. The matches, the thing for me about Raw, and again, especially after missing a week, I feel like first of all they should have taken the week off after seeing the ratings. But for me, I just feel like you have one of your big four pay-per-views coming up, and I mean, arguably the second biggest pay-per-view. Whether you want to talk about SummerSlam or Royal Rumble, which one you want to choose, but to me, it's the Royal Rumble, and it's like. You're 4 weeks away when you started Raw, and there was really no build for Royal Rumble whatsoever. So I just feel like that was really disappointing to me. It's like again, it was less than 4 weeks away, and there was not even a build to that. Other than maybe Alexa and Bianca having a rematch for the title at Royal Rumble, but to me that was just it. And then also with Raw being 3 hours, they only had 6 matches. I didn't like that either. I feel like with Raw, they should have had at least 7. They should always have at least 7 matches. I would like to see Royal Rumble qualifying matches on Raw. I thought Alexa and Bianca had a good match. I just like the physicality of the match. I love the Sequoia. I love Solo Sequoia and the Elias Street fight. I thought that was really well. I just like the character work. Then other than that, the Street Profits was a good thing. Our 6-man was entertaining as well. But the one thing I thought that was missing too, was especially coming back and then being 3 hours and taking the week off, was we didn't really get to see like Tozawa on there. He was having some good character building, Rhea, and then the rest of Finn as well. The rest of those guys besides besides Dominic's little thing. And I do like Dominic. I love that guy. He's cracking me up, his little teardrop tattoo and stuff like that. I like that part of it. And then there's Theory getting the big win over Seth, and again the psychology of the match. Even like shout out to our friend again. He might be hurt, but just people were thinking that Rollins was hurt, and from what I'm hearing, it was like he was just doing his job well. Again, that was really good. NXT had a solid card too. I thought the one thing I gotta laugh. I know she's your girl, but Indy being a face again, that made me laugh. Like Indy's becoming like the big show of NXT. I was like, really, she's a face again now. I liked the street fight match, or the match with the elbow fire, and I thought that was really good with Isla Dawn. I like that. I find big body Javi entertaining, so I thought that was really good. And then Dijak using the tape recorder was cracking me up. I was like a Shawn Michaels having an 80s flashback, or maybe he watched an old Raw episode or an old primetime wrestling to get an idea. It just kind of cracked me up with that. As far as SmackDown goes, later on, but especially coming back from hearing that McMahon's back on the board, I was just expecting kind of the wrestlers to kind of ball out, and they really didn't. I thought the opening match was good, but I really felt SmackDown was a weak card. Again, I just thought it was really bad. And again, talking about McMahon, I feel bad for Madcap Moss. He was one of the guys featured with McMahon, but now he's just kind of jobbing under the Triple H regime. I didn't really like the Charlotte promo. I kind of feel like they're just trying to make her like John Cena, and like whether you want to root or whether you want to or cheer for me or boo me. I was just like, again, like just let her just ride the good wave of emotion she had going. Let her kind of they should just had her just going as a face instead of just trying to play like John Cena. I didn't like that promo at all. And to me, like I said, just bring Cody back already. But especially after seeing like the thing they're running, like let him just do some promos and be selling Raw to me. Be selling the Royal Rumble. Like if they're gonna keep showing all these vignettes, just bring him back already. We know he's all coming back. Hit Row turning heel again. It only leaves like two besides the Brawling Brutes and New Day. That's the only face tag teams on. I get that they weren't really over as a tag team, but at the same time, like SmackDown has so many heel tag teams as it is. I just don't like that. I feel like they're gonna just get lost in the shuffle even more. And again, for me, the only match that really delivered was the main event, which again we would expect that. And to me, the bloodline stuff was really good. But other than that, SmackDown just felt kind of flat for me, if I'm being honest.
Okay. I can't really say that I disagree with you as far as how this week went for WWE. You're right about the whole Raw thing. They really should have put more into it. I did like the Bliss versus Bianca. I felt like it was kind of disappointing for the fans for them to come out and have a championship match and just take it that way. Like, they should have left the championship.
I definitely agree, yeah.
They should have left the championship match out of it until, like you said, the Royal Rumble. I did enjoy the Io and Kai versus Becky Lynch and Mia Yim.
Mitchin now. I think she's going by Mitchin. Isn't she that one name? That Mitchin now? Mitchin?
You know what? At this point, with all the name changes, I really just can't even.
Right, I don't blame you. Yeah, that girl over there.
Yeah. One thing that did, bother me about this week's programming was there just seemed to be so much interference. And it was just crazy. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to SmackDown before I talk about NXT. Like you said, this was a pretty weak card. I mean,
I agree. Thank you.
It was great to see Charlotte Flair come back, and one of the things that was most notable for me is seeing her giving much more interaction with the fans. The promo was crap, and that's one area that I've not really been a big fan of Charlotte with, is she's not that good on the mic. She's really not. And of course, the Usos match versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, it was well done. It was a great match. But I think the star this week was NXT. They seem to have had it together, and there wasn't a single match that they had that I really disliked.
No, and I agree. That's the thing. Again, I was just laughing at certain parts. Like, again, like I laughed, because we're both fans of NXT. And I laughed about, like AD being a face again. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then just the record thing. But no, like I agree. Like NXT was a solid card. It was just really good action. They have a lot of good wrestlers on there. And it's like they're very talented. And I can't wait for Dragon Lee to join them. That's going to be awesome too.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish yours.
No, like I said, like I mean, and again, and I think like if they just went back to like maybe a more black and gold, because even though these guys are like they're a lot of newbies, they're still really talented, and so I feel like if they just kind of did the storylines to kind of match what they would do on the main roster, because that's the one thing for me, like that I think Shawn Michaels has to realize, like if you wouldn't do these storylines on the main roster, you shouldn't be doing them on NXT. Because the cheesy storylines are taken away from the really good action, because they have a really talented roster, and some of these guys have only been wrestling for like a year, and they're performing really well. And the one thing I didn't like either, my only negative about NXT was I just didn't like the promo with all the girls. I thought that took a lot of time.
Oh my god!
Yes,
thank you.
It made the whole thing like kind of fall flat, and. And so that to me was like the one thing where I was just kind of like that whole thing. It just took too much time, and it was like a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that was the eye-rolling moment for me for the night, for sure. Yeah,
for sure. It was just too much time, and again, it's like they have a lot of women, and that's one thing I do give Sean credit for too, is that he showcases a lot of the women wrestling. And back to SmackDown, like we were talking, like you said too. For me, again, like you said, the fans want to cheer Charlotte. Like, just let it roll. It's like they were almost fearful of the fact that, like, well, maybe that was just a 1 week thing because fans were excited to see her back, and so they should have just played on the momentum. Like they try to go full heel on Becky, just go full face on Charlotte. And then the one thing, going back to what you said about Alexa Bliss, my one thing I forgot to say this. If she's they're gonna do this dark character with her, she needs to change her social media. And that's because that's the one thing for me. Like, if you look at like Malachi Black's social media, like he'll post pictures of himself and stuff, but he's not like really like, he keeps it kind of, and he'll post like pictures of himself like with fans and stuff like that. But but if you look at like Alexa Bliss's like social media, she's out with her husband Ryan Cabrera, and it's all like warm and fuzzy, like Disney mode, like of a social media. And if she wants to play this dark character, and if that's the direction they're gonna go, she needs to have her social media match it, because it just takes away from it for me.
Yeah, that's always been a huge part of pro wrestling, is staying in character no matter
what. Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I get that they want to have their social medias and do that, but at the same time, if you're going to play a dark character, then have your social media match it. Because again, I just rather her be the goddess again than trying to do all this crap.
Yeah. I want to throw special recognition out to Axiom and Trick Williams.
Oh, yeah.
As well as Isla Dawn. Those three were the most impressive for me for that night.
I agree. And then Isla Dawn's psychology, too. Like, and again, because at first when I saw her, I was like, is she just a Rosemary wannabe? But no, she's Isla Dawn. She's her own person. And just, it was like that kind of, it was like, she's going to, it reminded me like of Mick Foley, like bring on that torture and pain, like her just sitting there going, like, give it to me. Like, and again, like, if it would be cool, like, to me, almost to just see them become a heel tag team and go to the main roster, but the main roster is going to have a lot of heel tag teams. But like, again, like if she could get Alba Fire to join her after that psychology, like trying to bring out the darkness back in her, because I do think Alba Fire is better as a heel too. I like her as a heel. I feel like she's more just a natural bitch. So that'd be kind of cool if they took it that way.
Yeah, I'd actually love to see that.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts regarding the week's programming?
For me, like I said, like, again, I feel like they were just, I feel like they just kind of, like, again, with all the shows, like, they were kind of like, just kind of trying to play it safe. And it's like, you're going into the new year, and you kind of, and again, like, if you you set all these expectations up for like, okay, we're waiting until after football season. Like, again, I guess there was a game, and again, prayers for the player that got hurt too, real quick. The player on the Buffalo Bills who got hurt, prayers for him. I'm glad he's out of the hospital. And I'm glad the NFL made the right call there too to suspend the game. That was the right decision. But again, it's like now that Monday Night Football's over, now maybe we'll see more of it. But I think we had a lot of expectations for this year, and I feel like they just kind of played it safe instead of really giving us more.
Yeah, and one of the things that you said that I really kind of picked up on too this week was they seriously dropped the ball on several of the storylines that they were pushing with people. So I didn't quite understand that, but hopefully they get back into it.
And again, for Triple, like if you look at let's look at AEW Dynamite. They can do 6 solid matches, and that's what I think Triple H needs to realize. Like, you can give us a good match and have it only be 15 minutes, and I feel like they're trying to draw out all these long matches. And again, it's like I don't want to see that when I know there's other talent that's hungry, and there's other talent that is wanting more time. Oh, really quick, the thing I did like about Raw is the tease of the Hurt Business. So if they bring the Hurt Business back and make Bobby Lashley heel, but again, keep him heel this time, quit moving him back and forth. I would love to see the Hurt Business actually get a go at it with the crowd and actually let it go. Like, again, especially with WWE going more towards factions, bring it on.
Yeah, I have to agree. And I will say it personally, I would love to see Shelton Benjamin reign with gold again at some point.
No, absolutely. It'd be cool. Like, just let him go, and then that's the one thing I'd like to see. If you got talent that's hungry and they want to do it, let them go with it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right. All right. Well, we're to the point of, trending news going on around.
Here we go.
I mean, let's just pull the elephant out of the room. Let's talk about the Vince McMahon thing.
Woo!
Carlos,
no chance in hell.
I'm going to let you take off with this one, Carlos.
So it was funny because I was, I had a little bit of a health scare too. I have a little bit of I was feeling pain. So I spent all day in the emergency room on Thursday. I'm better now, but it's on Friday I was talking to my friend Sarah, Execution 84, and I was like, oh man, and she was like, I can't talk right now. I'm about to go down the Vince McMahon rabbit hole, and that's what I did. I just was going on for 4 to 6 hours. Just looking at stuff up, and I also recommend to fans. There's 2 big stories, so I suggest fans if podcast 83 weeks. He does one called Strictly Business, and him and John Alba did a really good job of talking about this, and it's just amazing to me. Even me and John, your brother, were talking about. Vince McMahon has 83% of the voting rights of the shares, so just for him to pull this move was crazy to me. It's I just can't believe he did it. He's pretty much this is my company. And even hearing about Eric Bischoff, I really do think that Vince McMahon did all this because he saw Ted Turner's company get taken away from him when he merged with Time Warner. And so Vince McMahon, when he set up the stock and everything, he had wording put into it that pretty much says this is his company and that's it. So even though people are able to buy stock in it, even Bischoff was talking about this move is going to be studied for decades in business classes because there's never been a stock that's set up where Vince McMahon could just come back and be like, yeah, I'm coming back. And for me, I'm just scared for the talent because there's no way that a micromanager like Vince McMahon's going to stay out of creative. I don't believe for 1 second.
Yeah, I have to agree. To me, this is just the ultimate symbol or analogy of
narcissist.
A little kid taking their ball and going home.
Yeah.
It seriously seemed like a kid who's mad, who wants to take his toy, and that's it. And I do worry about the talent, just like you said, because, he's not doing any of this for them.
No, and for me too, but I do think though that they at this point I don't really think they can do mass releases because if they do that, they'll never sign another talent again. Because I think they have to I get where but at the same time again it's going to be interesting to watch because with Vince McMahon, if he does blow up and he loses his cool and he does decide that he wants to release people, they'll never be able to sign people ever again because people aren't going to trust them anymore. and I'm gonna go dark horse with this, and again for me, I'm gonna just kind of like just be fun with this prediction. I predict that the Saudi government's gonna buy WWE, and then I predict in 5 years Mr. McMahon's gonna buy it back for half the price.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Well,
because I can see the Saudi government. I can see them just buying it because they have the money for it. And I can see Vince McMahon. People probably talk him into it, and then no one's gonna watch it because again, how they treat their humanitarian stuff, and I can see Vince McMahon buying it back from them in 5 years for half the price.
You know what? That sounds like an ultimate businessman kind of a move. Anyways, I mean,
exactly.
Devalue your stock, sell it off.
Yep.
There you go.
And then he'll own it privately, and he'll still have all the money. He'll win. Again, I totally see that happening. As soon as I heard Saudi government, I go ding ding ding.
So you said it before, and I'm gonna have to repeat what you said. Just go away. You know.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Anyways.
And again, for me too, and it's just again to me like again. Let's talk real quick. The board members who were investigating him already resigned. And again, and it's like, and they have made it clear too. Like I was listening again, I really recommend if you are interested in this subject, really listen to the John Alba and Eric Bischoff podcast, because they even talk about like that he had sent the letter to the people weeks ago, and the board unanimously voted that thank you, but no thank you, we don't want you back, and he still did it anyways, And again, I don't agree for a second that he's going to keep his hands off of it. I could see, and again, if WrestleMania is going to be successful, he's going to want to take credit for it. He's going to want his hands on it, I guarantee you, especially with the way it's being built right now and it's already being sold out. He's going to want credit for that baby. That's his baby, So yeah, I just think again, I really do hope that he stays away, because again, for the talent that's involved, and just let them keep going. But I'm really scared for everybody, and I think it's a really dicey situation. And I do love props to Tony Khan for sending a tweet out. He's like, all of a sudden, my talent is being so nice to me today, and everybody's so friendly. I wonder why. Like that was a baller tweet. I was like, shit. And then shout out to my friend Jack Cassidy, real Jack Cassidy. He posted a thing about it, and I go, oh, watch. Now we're going to see Miro jobbing on Rampage next week, because all of a sudden he's going to want to come back. It's just, it's just. And then my thing is, I saw FTR going back to WWE. Now I'm like, I now I kind of doubt it. Like again, it's going to change the whole wrestling landscape for sure. It's a crazy time.
It is, and I'm praying that he keeps his hand mostly out of it. But like you said, I freaking highly doubt it.
That's not his MO at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead.
Talk about really quick was that. Can we talk about Mercedes Verano?
Oh yeah, go for it.
So again, we had Mercedes Verano return this week to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and again, just props that, because that was the other big news item. So now the speculation was that she was going to be Soraya's partner at this week in LA, and I still think she is going to be the partner, if I'm being honest. But again, it was just a cool moment, And again, I'm always going to be a fan of anybody who bets on themselves. Like that's the reason why I started falling in love with Cody Rhodes, because again, he took a chance on himself, but he left WWE and bet on himself. The same thing for Jon Moxley, and again, the same thing for her now. The fact that she left WWE and she's Mercedes Moné now. And I already shared with John. I already bought a ticket to go see her in. I got a ticket to go see her in San Jose next month at the battle. I forget what it's called, Battle of the Bay or whatever. Battle lost, but so I'm going to see her in San Jose fighting Kairi Sane. So I'm really excited about that. And again, I think that's just a positive move for the wrestling business. I think it's really good stuff.
Okay, I can't really say that I read too much into that. It's been a hectic week for me. So
no, I feel you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and then we'll get into the AEW results for this week. Hey everybody, we're back, and now it's time to go into the AEW weekly program results. Dynamite, Ricky Starks defeats Chris Jericho. For the AEW Tag Team Championship, the Acclaimed defeated Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Brian Danielson defeated Tony Nese. Hey. Stop laughing over there. Swerve Strickland defeated AR Fox. Jade Cargill and Red Velvet defeated Sky Blue and Kiera Hogan. And for the TNT Championship, Darby Allin defeats Samoa Joe. Rampage results, Jon Moxley and Brian Danielson defeated Top Flight. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter defeated the Renegades. Preston Vance defeated Sonico. And for the TNT Championship, Darby Allin defeated Mike Bennett. And then for Battle of the Belts results, we had No Holds Barred AEW Tag Team Championship. The Acclaimed defeated Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. For the TBS Championship, Jade Cargill defeated Sky Blue. And for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, Orange Cassidy defeated Kip Sabian. So, personally, I thought that this week was absolutely lit when it came to the AEW programming. One of the things that I did not enjoy about it was, once again, they stuck the women's matches in the dead center. So that kind of took away from it. But Carlos, you want to give us your take?
Sure. So again, AEW absolutely brought it. I mean, let's shout out to Seattle and a shout out to Portland. Again, this is one of those things where AEW's finally come to the West Coast. Again, I'm going to be seeing them in March. And again, it's like a rock show, man. Like, again, like there's a reason why they get my money and WWE doesn't. Because again, that's what an event should feel like. Just the electricity and the Dynamite, Jericho and Starks. I thought that was an excellent match. You can say what you want about the Ocho, but letting Starks beat him cleanly was a good thing. And again, I do think that this is going to eventually lead to a Jericho face turn, because I just see him wanting to feud with MJF for the title. But again, he let him. But again, we're talking about NXT again, the clean finish. Thank you. Acclaimed and Jarrett. I know I forget his name, but Alfred Kamar. How you said, but he gets a lot of smack on Twitter for trolling. Because he just says it like it is on his opinion sometimes. But he did a really good episode on his pro wrestling bits about sports entertainment. And that's what AEW does have sports entertainers, and that's the best. And those are the ones that are really over with fans. And it's true, because to me, Acclaimed, Lethal, and Jarrett was an excellent sports entertainment match. I love the Max rap. I like that he doubled down on Karen Jarrett. And again, just to steal a little bit of Ted's podcast. I mean, Jarrett is an amazing heel, and I can't believe to me it's like. Even like listening to his podcasts, where podcasters look at podcasters love, his podcast, My World, he really did a good job of just making it so personal with Max Caster. And again, it made me I couldn't wait for this match. Like I was like so excited for Wednesday. And again, they just did such a good job. And again, just the back and forth. You made this personal. Again, Tony Khan has to prove every rap that Max does, because originally he was gonna shoot on Jeffrey Epstein, I think, and he had to change it to Dahmer the week before. So again, he does have to go. So everyone knows what he's doing. But again, just the excellent job that Jarrett does as a heel again. And he's one of the few. Him and Jay Lethal too are one of those few heels that they get that go away. We hate you, And it's like, and again, like to me, keep them on TV. And again, don't let them take so many spots. They have so many spots for their talent, but at the same time, deny that the guy is just so good at what he does. And again, just to me, it was great storytelling in the whole match. Again, I love the Acclaim, because everybody loves the Acclaim. But again, that was just a great match. And again, I was worried they would actually take the titles off him for a second. So when Aubrey came out, it was good shit, man. It was such a good thing. Danielson and Tony Nese, again, that was a really good thing. I love, the promo afterwards with him and MJF, like, again, to me, the promos are just as important sometimes as the match. That was an epic promo, and again, I'm excited about the long card that's going to be a Revolution. But again, just the idea of them two in an Iron Man match is just amazing. And I agree with you too. The women match to me is like, it made no sense. I don't like it. And again, just better for me, And the one thing for me, and again, well, I'll skip a little ahead. The match between Sky Blue and Jade was was their best match either one of us ever had, if you ask me. But it made no sense to me that you're going to have this match to set up the match on Battle of the Bells, and you're going to have Sky Blue lose in a tag team match, but she loses her match but still gets the title shot. Again, I didn't like it at all. Like, I'm with you on that segment. Just be better, don't be afraid to give the women's losses, give us a better match. And then, like you said, I mean, I know Jericho, he's an open, but at the same time, book some, and that's the thing, especially if they get Mercedes, hopefully she pushes. Like, let's get 2 women's matches on Dynamite every so often. Let's have the women open the show every so often. So I hope if she does come on board, and she ends up being the mystery partner for Saraya next week, I hope that, that's something that she pushes for, and like, hey, let's have 2 matches, because he's getting a lot of talented women, But I get that the men outweigh the women, but you can't deny the talent there. I love the Gun Club's promo, the FTR IP. Again, those guys are great sports entertainers, and I look forward to what they do in the future. And that main event was really awesome. Again, to me, I get Darby, being from Seattle and giving her the win, but to me, Wardlow should have never lost the title. I was traumatized the week before when Wardlow lost, and then how he got beat by Samoa Joe. Again, they're not doing Wardlow any favors, and at this point, I would just put Wardlow with MJF again, and have him go back to being like, maybe not losing his way, and he goes back to being MJF. At this point, I'm kind of upset about the Wardlow thing. As far as Rampage and Battle of the Belts go, I mean, top flight. I mean, thank you, Portland. That opening match was absolute fire. I love what they're doing with Top Flight. Again, those guys, I don't think eventually I would like to see 2.0 dethrone the Acclaimed, but I definitely would like to see Top Flight eventually be the ones that take those belts off of 2.0. If I had my bookie, it was a great match. And then for me, like, I could have done without the next 2 match. Again, you're trying to build Rampage, and especially with Battle of the Belts being on that night, and you have Jen Ross. Don't give me 2 matches with developmental talent. Again, they Preston Vance did a really good job of the emotion of removing the guy's mask. But to me, let him beat somebody else. Beat him Fuego de Sol. Like, why have a developmental talent? And then to me too, like, I don't get, where's the Dark Order? Like, this guy left the Dark Order, beat them all up. Made -1 cry, broke us all to get their comeuppance on. I'm trying to give him a receipt. Like, to me, like that just makes no sense to me. And then again, the main event was really good for me on that match. The TNT title again. I hope after that match that Tony Khan utilizes the Kingdom more, because those are 2 veterans that really could do a lot for the rest of the roster. And again, that was just a really good main event. So for Battle of the Belts, again, I love that I got the Acclaim twice in 1 week. That was a good match. And again, I just kind of like, man, what they did to the referees. My only thing about that was the end of the match. Like, if Saddam Hussein's going to interfere throughout the whole match, why wouldn't he go in and break up the pin? That to me made no sense. And to me, I would have had Captain Insano come out just to get that, because he wants to use Big Show's Captain Insano. I would have had him come out that night and just beat up Saddam Hussein to make it where he couldn't come and break up the pin. Because to me, after all that interference, he should have been trying to break up the pin. Between Sky Blue and Jade. But again, to me, it should have been. I forget her name. Red Velvet and Scott, and it should have been Red Velvet and Jade on the card. And then Orange Cassidy and Kip. That was a really fun match, and I hope that we don't see Kip Sabian lose his way after that. I would like to see him, Butcher and Blade, enter the trios division. And again, just overall, AEW this week did what WWE should have done, and they just came out on fire this week. It was amazing 4 hours of action, and it made watching it so easy.
Agreed. So I guess I'll go through mine, and I'm probably going to talk a little bit more than I did about WWE, simply just because they were more lit, they were more on the ball. Jericho versus Ricky Starks, I have to agree with you. I think they ended that extremely well. The Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Acclaimed, holy interference, and I love the fact that they did almost a title swap, but then pulled it back and made it right.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, I got it right this time, versus Tony Nese.
Just say American Dragon next time. We'll be good.
He made short order of that, and I think they went the right direction with it. Swerve Strickland versus AR Fox. This was a superb match. Like, this was just epic the way they executed it. The Sky Blue and Kier Hogan versus Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. It was okay, but like you said, it just hand in hand with what they did with Rampage just didn't make any sense. So, Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. This one was unbelievable to me. Like, I loved the fact that it ended the way it did. But don't you laugh at me. But I'm with you on the Wardlow thing. It just, why did they even bother going that direction with it? Okay, Rampage. Moxley and American Dragon versus Top Flight.
There you go.
This was an excellent match. In full agreement with you. I see Top Flight just really, really taking off, going places. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus the Renegades. This was a much better match than I was anticipating it to be. The Renegades actually did extremely well, and they managed to impress me. I just didn't really much care for the timing of the match. The Vance versus Sonico. Just another squash match. Hopefully they do a lot more with Vance. Mike Bennett versus Darby Allin. That was a great match. I've never really paid that much attention to Bennett, but he's actually an incredible wrestler. So I'm looking forward to seeing more out of him.
You know, and the thing too about him is that he actually, if you ever look at social, he's really about positivity. Like he's had his struggles, like I have with addiction, and now he's in recovery, and he just really tries to to just be a positive person in this world now and giving back. And so again, I really do hope, like you said, I really hope that you guys are more, because he's great for the wrestling business.
And I have to really, that touches home for me, because I really haven't said much about it, but I had my own struggles for 14 years, and it took a long time. I mean, I'm going close to 9 years now off of illegal substances, and I'm happy.
Yeah, so he talks about it a lot and just shares and tries to uplift other people. So again, he's someone I recommend that you just kind of, because again, he's a really good guy. And again, WWE, I wish he would have got better in WWE, but hopefully now with AEW he gets that chance to shine, because he's a really good person.
And he definitely managed to impress me. I'll definitely be paying attention to him more. Battle of the Belts. This entire show had me absolutely watching everything. I normally I'll fast forward through a lot of stuff, but not this time. No. So the Acclaimed versus Jeff Jarrett and Lethal. This was, I don't know which direction that I really, really enjoyed the most, other than, I mean, let's just get Aubrey Edwards some ring gear already, because this was just pure craziness. I love the fact that they snapped the pencil through it.
Oh yeah, you know, she gets a lot of flack sometimes to the people, you know, because like if you ever listen to like Jimmy Corderas, like his like big thing is like refs shouldn't be seen or be known, and they, because even like her and Bryce, but who cares? Like we like it, we like Aubrey, like let us have her, you know, like they add a lot to the match, like let them if the fans like it and the town's okay, who cares, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
let wrestling be fun.
There are certain things that we've talked about before which are inappropriate or appropriate. But this in no way was inappropriate.
No, and it was a cool thing too. Like, you know, like it's a different aspect of a no DQ match. Like that's the first time I think they've ever done that, where the talent's just taking out the referee like that. And again, it is no DQ, so why not do it? And again, I think it plays in more into, you know, Jeff Jarrett just being that ultimate heel, him and Jay Lethal. Like it was good, man. It was great.
Yeah. Did you notice Aubrey scissored?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I was laughing at Jericho too, because do you know that she's Jericho's personal referee, and he's talking smack about her. Like, come on, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on, the Sky Blue versus Jade Cargill. Even though I do agree it should have been Red Velvet, I'm gonna give my shout out to Sky Blue, because this was an excellent match executed by her.
And Jade too, yeah.
Yeah. This was just killer. Like that final move, the finisher. How often do you see somebody be able to give that much control to that? It's rare.
But to me, like, it's the thing about that though, and again, if that's something that Tony Khan needs to realize, it's like, so you have a girl like Sky Blue who can give Jade that kind of match, who is somebody that you really have a lot of stock in. So then let Sky get some more wins.
Yep.
Like build up Sky Blue so she can be that person that comes off more as a legit threat to Jade that can give her that kind of match. That's where he needs to kind of learn more. You know?
I absolutely agree, and I hope to God we see Chris Statlander come back soon.
I can't wait for her. Yep.
I'm definitely missing her. She's had an unfortunate string of just misfortune. Moving on to the Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy. I love the fact that they reversed the roles. Kip did an excellent job. This was a great match. Like, I can't say anything else about it. This was just a great match. Oh, except for, Danhausen getting his finger bit. Why are you over there shaking your head? Huh? So, I don't really have anything else. Do you have any further opinions as far as AEW?
The thing I wanted to say, because you reminded me of it, and I forgot I had it in my notes here, is I can just tell already that Swerve is going to be one of my favorite heels of 2023.
Oh yeah,
the work that guy is doing again, it's just the whole the emotion and the selling in the ring. That dude, man, I cannot wait to see what he does in 2023.
Yep. I have to.
Eventually, I want to see a main event feud between him and Ricky Starks. It would be gold.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree with that. If there's nothing else, then we are going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break. And when we come back, we will start discussing our top 10. And welcome back. It's time for us to go over our top 10. All right. So, Carlos.
Yes.
Who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Solo Sikoa.
All right. My number 10 is Apollo Crews. Okay.
So my number 9 was Jade Cargill.
Oh, nice. My number 9 was Trick Williams. How about number 8?
So we didn't talk about this, but I forgot to talk about this during SmackDown. My number 8 was Roman Reigns, just for his psychology, when he yelled at Sammy, that was such great emotion. I was like, so for his promos this week, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that one actually kind of threw me off to hear Roman Reigns give an apology.
Oh yeah, just the Reigns from being that mad and angry, that man, that was so good, and then just apologizing, just again, Roman, that was just like, whew, emotional roller coaster.
Nice. My number 8 is AR Fox. Your number 7?
Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, all right. My number 7 is Swerve Strickland. Your number 6?
Is Top Flight.
Interesting. All right. My number 6 is Charlotte Flair. Your number 5?
My number 5 she wasn't on these shows, but again, just for what she did in the wrestling business week, was Mercedes Moné.
Nice. My number 5 is Sky Blue. Your number 4?
Is Ricky Starks.
Cool. My number 4 is Top Flight. Your number 3?
Is Darby Allin.
This is getting interesting. My number 3 is Axiom. Your number 2?
The Acclaims.
That's pretty damn good choice. Number 2, Carmelo Hayes. Your number 1?
My number 1 for this week was especially for the big victory he scored, was Theory.
Nice. And my number 1 was Darby Allin.
Nice.
All right.
I like it. 2 different top 10s, but 2 worthy top 10s. That was good stuff.
Yes, sir. All right. So.
And John, give me kudos for not putting me Clay number 1.
Well, I mean, you can't be number 1 all the time, right?
I know. And again, to me, the thing that I was kind of really good today was just psychology and just theory, just his mannerisms and his facials in the ring this week was awesome. And again, he got a big ring over Seth Rollins, and that was, again, I just like this ring psychology. It was awesome. He did a really good job this week.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good push.
Oh yeah.
And now we're going to move into the shout-outs. Normally, I don't have a whole lot to say about this, but this particular week, I do want to give shout-outs to everybody who listens to us. We thank you. I want to throw a shout-out to Heather, our missing co-host. Hopefully things get better for you soon. And of course, Ted, the Hillbilly Hill. Our thoughts, our hearts, and our prayers are with you, buddy. Carlos?
So again, to our other person joined the team, Brian Ballard, who's going to be more of our YouTube side, but definitely shout out to Brian. That Brian Atkins, Raph, Infrated R, Infamous Rated R, Sarah Execution 84, NWO Machine, Vader from Wish, Jane Henry 79. Also, just the real Jack Cassidy. Again, I always enjoy my interactions with him on Twitter. That's about it for me to this week. Obey Jess too. Obey Jess, who's always usually listening to us and supporting us. We thank you for just being part of us as well.
All right. Without anything further to add, we want to thank Libsyn for hosting this podcast and providing it to every available audio platform. Go visit our website at www.wrestlingfansinsight.com to find us on your favorite audio platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Ghana, YouTube, and more. If you like our podcast and want to be notified of our latest releases, please subscribe on our page, WrestlingFansInsight.com, or whichever audio platform you listen on. While you're at it, if it's possible, give us a 5-star rating and review. We'd be happy to read your review on future recordings. You can follow and interact with us on Twitter. My handle is William Hoppe, Hoppe 8. Carlos?
I got my handles are
It's okay.
C to the LOS 77. Then also my nonprofit is Conquer the No.
All right. If you're on Facebook, look for our group, The Fans of Pro Wrestling. And lastly, if you'd like to leave us a text message or feedback on our voicemail, our number is 1-385-367-4772. We hope you enjoyed this week's program, and we'll be back next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitter Space. Happy New Year, be safe, be kind, and have a great week.